What's up everyone, Ryan here, and today I'm going to provide you all with an early review and my first impressions of EA Sports PGA Tour. I've been playing it all week since Monday, and I'm going to cover everything today. I'm going to put it in order of my favorite game modes, so I'm going to start covering my favorite stuff, favorite game modes, and move on through all the way through. We're going to cover every feature in the game, all aspects, and I'm going to try to do it for you all in less than 20 minutes. If y'all get some enjoyment, drop a like. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more. I have tons of EA PGA Tour content already on the channel with many more to come, including gameplay tutorials, videos, and more. But today, I am pleasantly surprised to tell you all that EA Sports PGA Tour is so much fun to play. Going into this game, I had very low expectations because of their last golf game. Their last golf game, Rory McIlroy PGA Tour, was, I think, my least favorite golf game of all time. So going into this, since 2014, I've been playing the Golf Club series, and then 2K21 and 2K23. I played all those games over 1,000 hours. And coming into this, I'm like, I just love 2K's mechanics. I just don't anticipate that I'm going to enjoy EA. So I anticipated, to play it a little bit, but really not play it very long. But wow, was I wrong. So this game is always so much fun to play, and that's what I was really surprised on, because I was not expecting that. From the graphics to the unique courses, the career mode, loads of offline content. An offline gamer like me, this is almost the dream offline golf game. So what I would say here is that we have two good golf games on our hand, PGA 2K23 and EA at the same time, and it is a great time to be a golf game fan. So I'm going to cover my discussion of EA versus 2K. That'll be later in the conversation. I'm going to have timestamps for you all in the video, just like always. But let's go ahead and start. So the bread and butter of this game, in my opinion, is its career mode. The career mode in this game is exceptional. It's so immersive. It is your immersive PGA Tour experience. You have all four majors, the FedEx Cup playoffs. You can play with AI pairings. And not only can you set up AI pairings when you're in the PGA Tour, you can have it set up to where you play the first 3 rounds or first few rounds without the AI pairing. And then you can set it to where you only play with the AI in the final pairing. So that way it's not taking so long to play each round. But in this game, you start as an amateur. You can play in 5 different tournaments in the amateur tour, and then if you win that, you can actually qualify to play in the Masters or US Open as an amateur. And then you'll move on to play in the Korn Ferry Tour, Q School. And then I don't want to give too much away besides saying that you'll move, of course you can move up to PGA Tour and go through that. But what I say, I don't want to give any spoilers away, is how good the presentation is. And what I recommend is don't skip ahead through the cutscenes when you're in these tournament rounds. There are Easter eggs throughout, and the presentation is so immersive. The golf courses look incredible. And the commentary, they'll talk about your past performances. They'll talk about the leaders on the course. They'll talk about in real life moments that have occurred in past tournaments when you hit it in similar spots. It is an immersive experience. And on top of that, you have your golfer. So one of my biggest gripes with the 2K23 progression is that the progression, it doesn't feel like you're really progressing. Yes, you unlock skills as you go, you unlock club fittings, but it doesn't feel like you're actually improving. I feel like the progression is more based on how good you're getting, your input. I will talk about the gameplay later on, but this game is not as heavily input based. It's more on the shot setup, the shot setup and shot type chosen that dictates where you're going to go versus that strict reliance on your input of your analog stick. So within the career mode, you also have challenges that you can do in the coaching academy, and also sponsored challenges as well. I will get into challenges here in really just a few minutes. But these challenges are a great way to learn the game and improve your player in my career. Honestly, I think it's the best place to start if you want to get experience for your player and level up pretty quickly and unlock some new skill points. So moving on to the progression of the golfer in career mode. So each time you level up in this game, you unlock 2 skill points. So right now I'm up to level 36, and you can see my golfer's stats here. I am up to 81 overall, and that includes the skill points I've spec'd into power, driving, approach, short game, and putting, but also my equipment boost. So in this game, every time you complete a challenge, you're going to earn reward points. You can spin those reward points on to buy new clothes or new club specs. And club specs give your golfer more boost above the base statistics that you see in this skills tree. So this progression I love. When like you complete a tournament and you may move up a few levels after that tournament. You come in here and you have to really think, like, what did I struggle with? Did I struggle with accuracy on approach shots? Did I struggle missing fairways? Did I struggle with spin? If you struggle with spin, you would spec into control. If you struggled with accuracy, you would spec into accuracy, of course. Struggled with putting? Spec into putting. And I love that part about this game. I think they did the progression so far. I really like the progression. Now we'll see once you get to a point where you're maxed out. I don't know if there's a cap on this. I don't know how many skills you can get yet. I'm not there yet. I will update you all on that in the future once I get to the max level. But as we take a look at the equipment, so right now you can have 5 bags. You can have 5 different loadouts that play very unique to your specific play style. So right now I'm actually rocking the Hideki Matsuyama club spec. So this is a legendary club spec you can buy in the score for 18,000 reward points. I've been playing the game a lot. I've actually been saving my points to buy this iron set. So now my iron sets are just like Hideki's. And you can see the boost there. They really increase the control, which is spin and shot shaping, and also the accuracy. So these irons are really cool, and I love that you can actually buy the in real life pros club specs so you can hit like them. So that's it. That's a further boost on top of my base skill set here. And another thing in the career mode that's awesome is the quest. You have quest throughout for winning specific tournaments. You have course mastery. You have the road to the PGA Tour, which is winning amateur tournaments and winning Corn Ferry Tour tournaments. Everything you do in this game, you feel like you're getting something, you're getting reward points, and you're progressing your player, which I think they knocked it out of the park with the progression and the feelings of accomplishment when you complete something. So we're going to move on to my second favorite mode in this game, and that includes challenges. So challenges in this game, I feel like I barely scratched the surface on them. There are over 1,000 challenges you can take on. So you have sponsor challenges to unlock experience and gear and reward points. You have spotlights of in real life tournaments. You have featured challenges. You have championship moments from all throughout the PGA Tour, including all 4 majors, the Players Championship, the LPGA Tour. There is so many challenges in this game, and I barely scratched the surface on and they're tough. I will go ahead and tell you all, a lot of the challenges are really tough, but the big ones that everybody should start on is Coaching Academy. Like I said earlier, this is the tutorial in this game. You load into this game, the game does not do a good job of onboarding people. It just basically says, here you go, here's the game, go. Your tutorial is in the form of challenges in the Coaching Academy, and these are far from easy. Some of them are easy, but when you start getting into the later ones, and especially the PGA Coach Skills Trainer, some of them can get really tough and really frustrating, especially when your player overall is low. But as you do these challenges, you're going to unlock a lot of experience, and you're going to be able to upgrade your player. So your player is going to keep getting better. I highly recommend doing these, but these are so much fun. The downside of these is the slowness of actually getting into the challenges, loading in. So every time you click on a challenge, I'll show you how long it takes. So if we click on a challenge here, let's go around the green challenge. So you're going to go ahead, you get the loading screen, And then on top of the loading screen, this is each time you load into one challenge. You're going to get this PGA Tour. You're going to get the presentation showing you what to do. You're going to get the whole flyover as well. And then you can skip this menu. But then there's another skills trainer transition, and then you're in the challenge. But then say you fail the challenge. Then you restart, and it takes you back through that same process again. And once you complete the challenge, you can't move on to the next one from within it. You actually have to back out. It takes you back to the menu and you click on the next one there. I feel like the menus in this game could have been so much better. They're pretty sluggish and pretty slow, but these challenges are so awesome. 1,000 challenges at launch is just amazing, and I highly recommend you all play through these challenges, especially when you start out the coaching challenges. They are so good. Now, then moving on to my third favorite game mode here is tournaments. Now, this, I think, for the online crew and for the longevity of the game, this is the big deal. So tournaments, you can compete in daily online tournaments against other players, weekly tournaments, and seasonal tournaments. The awesome thing about this is you have two tournaments every you have two free tournaments every day, every 12 hours. The tournaments start at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. They end in 12 hours, so 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when they start and end. Now, technically, you can only play them for 11 hours, because that last hour is processing. So you have until 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to complete your dailies from the previous day. And you have until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that evening to complete the rounds by, because there's an hour of processing for them to determine the awards. The awesome thing about this, no matter what you do in the tournament, even if you play terrible, you're going to get something. So you can hit Y or triangle depending on what you're playing on, is take a look at the rewards. So no matter what, even if you miss rank, you're going to get 1,500 reward points. That then allows you to play in the pro level tournaments and the tour level tournaments, because you have to spend reward coins to be able to participate in the pro and tour tournaments. So perfect timing, these tournaments just expired right as we speak. So I want to show you the rewards of the 4-hole pro and tour. So this is mechanic. When you do these, you're going to get tickets. Tickets are used to participate in the weekly tournaments and the seasonal tournaments. There's one seasonal tournament that's free, which is the All 18 Sim tournament. And the tickets you can buy with real money or earn by just playing the daily tournaments. And I have not felt a need to buy the tickets to be able to participate in these. I'm having fun with the daily ones and playing career mode and so much offline content. But this is probably going to be where a lot of people spend their time. So I haven't really dove into these much, so I can't really talk too much about if the tickets feel like it's going to be a pay to play type thing, because I haven't got there yet. I'm loving the offline grind, but I have been having a lot of fun playing the daily tournaments. But one thing I want to show that's awesome, in the All 18 Sim tournament and in the different tournaments, look at these rewards. So in the All 18 Sim at Augusta National Tournament, if you win, if you're in the top 10%, you get a full set of custom Masters golf clubs. And now based on where you finish, you're going to get still some clubs, but not all the clubs. And you're always going to get something, even if you miss the rank as well. But I love this. You can if you play better and win, you get actual stuff in game that stands out. It's like if somebody sees you with this Master club set, they're like, wow, they're a good player. We know how they got it. So they played that True Sim tournament and won. So I love this. If they keep doing this and keep adding stuff for doing good in a tournament that's unique and that you can show off, it's going to keep increasing the longevity of this game. I think most people are going to spend most of their time in daily tournaments. I think I'm going to spend most of my time in career mode, challenges, and doing the dailies each day. I will get into the online weeklies and such, but it's the other stuff that pulls me in more. But I'm more of an offline grinder, and especially in sports games, I love playing offline way more than online. So moving on to my third favorite place in this game, believe it or not, the Quickplay is awesome. And I will run through and show you what I mean by that. So in quick play, you can play stroke play, match play, skins, best ball, 4-ball, team ball, alt shot, foursomes, and team alternate. The really cool thing about this is you can play these with the AI. So you can play all the 30 courses in the game, and you can actually move in and you can play with the pro or play with your character, but you can add CPU players or local players. So say you and a buddy, you want to play together offline, you're on the same console, you can play against the AI head to head. Now the AI doesn't always make the perfect decisions, but you can go in, you can play against the AI, you can add up to 4 AI and play your rounds. And I think this is awesome. That the AI does need a little bit of work because sometimes they make some interesting decisions, but all in all, quick play is awesome because you can customize the round settings, you can make it tournament, you can customize the gameplay difficulties to your liking, you can play arcade, you can play sim, you can turn off the grid lines, you can do whatever you want. And another thing I love about quick play is being able to customly pick whatever golf holes you want to play. Say I just want to go in and play the iconic hole number 7 at Pebble Beach. You can do that. You can pick whatever holes and check mark, and you can go ahead and play just those holes. This is such an awesome feature, and I actually want to see this feature in PGA 2K23 as well, because this is really cool. And I think the beauty of whether it's quick play, career mode, or whatever you're playing in this game is the way each course feels so unique. The gameplay and physics engine, the way it works unique to each course, it's so impressive, and I think that's what keeps drawing me back into this game. My big fear at the beginning was like not having enough courses to play because I'm used to the unlimited community courses in 2K23. But these courses are so well done. The way that Augusta National plays is way different than Whistling Straits, and Pebble Beach plays way different. Like, all the courses play so unique, and I'm blown away with the courses and how good the course graphics look in this game. So moving on to the competitive, that would be the next mode I would choose, the competitive online head-to-head. But here's the downside of the competitive online head-to-head right now. There is only stroke play for Tour 9 holes. There's arcade for random 18 holes right now, and Augusta Amen Corner. So you can play with up to 16 players simultaneous, but there's no head-to-head match play. There's no team alt shot. It is very limited. Now, based how you play, you're gonna move up and down a leaderboard. It's not like I think the PGA 2K23 ranked is better the way it's set up to where you move up and down divisions. And I haven't seen any rewards tied to this either. So when you win a match, I never got a specific award or anything like that. So hopefully they add some rewards here like they have in the online tournament. So I will say the competitive online head-to-head stroke play and stuff, it seems pretty bare bones right now, but at least it launched with it, and that's huge, and hopefully they develop it over time. So moving on to the other game mode that I would choose is private match. Now, this is, I would say, the biggest downside of this game. Private matches are very bare bones. In a private match, you and 16 friends can join in to only play stroke play. You can only play stroke play. You can't do head-to-head alt shots. You can't do any team games. You can only play against each other in stroke play format on any of the courses. And one thing that's interesting as well, whoever hosts the tournament is the only one who can pick one of the pro players. If you load into your friend's game, you cannot change. You have to use your my player. You cannot change to a pro. At least if you can, I haven't found it. You all can let me know if you found that. At this point in time that I'm making this, you cannot. So it's very bare bones private matches. I hope they add every single game mode to those. I don't know why it's so limited. 16 players is awesome, right? But how many gamers out there have 16 friends, close friends to play with? Probably, maybe some out there, but I don't. But then moving on to the one that I don't think I'll ever really play is the social low stake games. They're not ranked, random, any combination of 16 players stroke play. No, there's no ranked progression on this. This would not be for me. I loaded into a few matches. I found one other person playing, and every time I did, so I don't think there's been a lot of people playing social. But with all the other content in this game, I can see why. Yeah, remember when I said I was going to do this in less than 20 minutes? Well, that went well. So moving back to the golfer, I covered a lot of the golfer, but one thing I wanted to talk about was the customization for the golfer is actually very bare bones. So you have custom presets that you choose from, to only 2 body types. You can customize the swing, but there's not a lot of swing combinations. I would love to see the detail in NBA 2K23, the swing the shot combinations that you can create. I would love that in a golf game. You cannot choose any of the pro swings, but you can customize the tempo. You can customize the animation a little bit there's 3 animations to choose from: sweep, into, out, balanced. You have the swing style where you can change, of course, the handedness, the trajectory, the preferred shot shape, the swing tempo, and course management. So there is customization, but honestly, the character creator really disappointed me. I would love to see a character creator as good as WWE 2K23 and NBA 2K23 in a golf game. Now, PGA 2K23 has a much better character creator than this game. You can't even adjust your height in this one either. So it's very bare bones in that aspect, but the golfer skills are not bare bones. So basically the last feature to cover here before we get to the gameplay aspect is the store. And this is something that I hope they improve upon over time. One thing I want them to improve is the menus, because just switching between the menus here at the top, look how slow it goes. So slow. So hopefully they improve the menu speed, but the store, there's not a lot of stuff here. And if you want a specific item, say you just want a hat, which is what I came into the store for the first time. So you have to scroll through the featured items. So you're like, okay, I don't see a hat. I see some cool plasma club trails, some cool golf bags and stuff. So let's go ahead and right trigger and look at the next option. So that's your club specs. You can buy club specs with reward options. And there's the Dustin Johnson driver spec if you want to hit like Dustin Johnson. So I'm like, okay, I still don't see the pants. Some cool stuff though. And then I hit right trigger into clothing. I mean the hat. Like, okay, there's a hat. I don't really like that one. Let's keep on moving. Okay, we have an Under Armour bundle, which costs 24,000 rewards coins. That's like a week of playtime. That's a lot. But I still haven't found the hat I want. Let's keep scrolling through. Okay, we'd have a Puma hat. I want a black hat. So you all get what I'm saying. We still haven't found the black hat. So there is a black Nike hat, but it's in the sponsored challenges. But you all kind of get my point. The clothing options, scrolling through them all, I just don't really like the UI or the way they did this. They have updated this, and they seem to update it. But I want a full store of all the different brands in one setting and like look at everything. It's a very similar store to PGA 2K23. So I'm not impressed with this part about it. So you can also buy clubs as well. Keep in mind the clubs you buy here of the actual in real life brands are only cosmetic only. The only way you change your actual club attributes are by buying the specs and applying them to your club. The beauty of the store though is there are no pay to win mechanics. You can only buy tickets with real money. You can also buy the gear and stuff with real money with the green points. What are they? I think they're just called points. Yeah, with points. So you can buy the points, but you cannot buy the specs with that currency. You can only buy specs from your reward coins you get by completing challenges, doing the daily tournaments, and playing the game, which is a beautiful thing to see an EA game with no pay to win. Big win there. So those are all the game modes here in EA Sports PGA Tour. Another thing I wanted to mention is you can create up to 4 golfers if you wanted to. So you can have 4 different creative golfers of different skill sets and different career modes as well if you wanted to. So now we've covered all the game modes. Now it's time to move into the gameplay. And first thing I have to point out about the gameplay is the graphics. This game is beautiful. It is the best looking golf game I have seen, and especially when talking about the courses specifically. The courses, the environments, the vegetation, the clouds, the lighting, everything looks gorgeous. In the still moments, like when you're sitting still, it's phenomenal. Now, when it gets into movement at 30 frames per second on the Xbox Series X, you do notice that 30 frames per second sometimes. It just seems slow, and I think this game would really benefit from a 60 FPS mode big time. But the game looks gorgeous. And I see a lot of comments, you know, surprisingly on some of my videos, like graphics don't look good. And I do agree that the character models do not look great and the facial expressions are not good. But the course graphics are absolutely stunning. It is insane. When you're on a 4K monitor and you're sitting there looking, it looks real sometimes. You start to look like, is this real life? Am I actually at Pebble Beach? Am I actually at Augusta National? You think you're dreaming. That's how real and immersive the presentation gets you into these golf courses. But the character models are not up to par with the course graphics. I would love to see the character models of FIFA, you know, those beautiful character models like WWE 2K23, NBA 2K23. But I will say the character models do look better than PGA 2K23. But moving on to the actual gameplay. This is the thing when I first started playing this, where it just felt slow. It felt really slow. And a lot of that came from thousands of hours in PGA 2K21 and 2K23 playing at 60 frames per second. And the speed of the swing in that game is so quick. After playing this game and going back to 2K, it's a hard adjustment because that speed of the swing and the smoothness of 60 frames per second, it's night and day. But the more I played this game, the more I really started to love the mechanics. That slowness feeling, I don't even think about now. It doesn't even feel slow anymore. It just feels like EA PGA Tour. It feels like a new and different golf game, which for me is what I wanted. I wanted two great golf games, and we have them now, in my opinion. We have EA PGA Tour on one side that plays completely different mechanically to PGA 2K23. EA Sports PGA Tour is less reliant on your input. Your input that you put on the swing stick, that fast and slow tempo, is much less important than the shot setup and your shot type with each and every shot in the game. PGA 2K23 is very reliant on that downswing tempo. If you fast it, it's always going to the left if you're a right-handed golfer. If you slow it, it's always going to the right. The more you fast, the more you slow, it's going to go further in those directions. That game, if you hit a perfect, it goes at the spot you want no matter what. In EA PGA Tour on the other side, fast and slow are not always to the left. The fast is not always to the left. The slow is not to the left. The fast and slow mechanic actually changed the power on your shot. A fast increases the power of your shot. A slow decreases the power. An overswing increases the power on your shot. A underswing decreases it. So the mechanics are much different than 2K23. So I would say gameplay wise, 2K23 to me, I'm more stressed out about that tempo. And when the tempo's off, it gets you flustered. Like even when there's like inconsistencies in tempo, you just feel like you can't hit it. You get very frustrated. In EA PGA Tour, you don't have that. Swing plane is so forgiving. I almost hit a straight shot every single time on EA PGA Tour. So I feel like that swing plane is very forgiving versus in 2K23, I hit a straight shot most of the time, but there's times when I pull it, push it on the plane. Not as much even on hard difficulty in EA. Some people are not going to like that about EA PGA Tour. Some people are going to love that. I love that I can go into EA PGA Tour, set up my shot, and be like, I don't have to, if I hit a fast, it's not going to send it 20 miles to the left. I personally enjoy that because I can go back to 2K, and I have been going back to 2K and playing it for that true input-based gameplay. They're very different in that aspect. The one thing that I really like about EA Sports PGA Tour, talking about the gameplay, is the dispersion area. So even if you hit a perfect shot or a fast or slow in any of that region, your ball is going to land in the circle region shown on that screen. And based on your player's control, that perfect region, or not the perfect region, that dispersion region is going to be smaller as your player improves. But this adds a simulation aspect to it. to where you set up your shot, but you could hit a perfect, and it still might not go perfect on the line. It creates variety in the round. Some people might not like the RNG. It is RNG. It is RNG. With any of the pro players you play with in the game, you're my player. Now, maybe as you max out your my player, it may be different, and I may be like, I don't like it as much anymore because it's too easy. But I actually love that. It brings a sim aspect. If you're flopping from the heavy rough, that dispersion area is going to be bigger. If you're flopping from the fairway, the dispersion area is going to be smaller. So I love that aspect. It adds a sim kind of aspect to it. And you may set up the perfect shot, and you may end up 5 yards further because you got the poor dispersion on the shot. Some people are going to hate that. And that's partly what makes this game tough. It's easy to hit fairways. I wish hitting fairways was a little bit harder. Off the tee, you don't even have to think about it. You just send it. But what you have to think about off the tee is, where do you want to be in your next shot? Because if you're hitting an iron from the if you're hitting a 3-iron from the fairway, it is so hard. You have to play like real life on this game. It's really tough to stick some shots. You have to really pay attention to the pin location. Is it on a slope? So you really have to think when you're playing these courses on this game. The one thing that's important to mention is the putting in this game. And the grid lines are always wrong. And I don't want to say always wrong, but they usually are. A lot of times the grid lines are moving in one direction and it breaks in the opposite directions. The very interesting ones are when you have the putt preview turned on, the putt line, and you have the fastest moving grids you've ever seen from left to right. And the putt preview tells you to aim in complete opposite direction, about 2 feet to the opposite direction. You're just sitting there shaking your head like, no, I'm not doing that. And then you go with your line and you're like, well, okay. So I think though that with this game, with how courses play so unique, this could be intentional. They could have intentionally made the grid lines like this to where that you have to use your course knowledge and be like, wait, no, I know this break. I played this course before. So it's either a glitch or intentional. I hope they change it. I hope they change it because it gets so frustrating at times. That's really, to me, the most frustrating part about the game, but it does make the game harder. I will say that. It definitely does. But talking about putting, the animation and the stance and the grip on the putter is just off. And when you putt, the putter kind of goes through the ball. It kind of warps through a lot of the times. But that's something I hope is an easy fix that they can consider in the future or here sometime soon. Some of the other animations I don't really like either. The flop shot is insane. And not only is it overpowered and you can stick it from a poor heavy rough lie within 5 yards, but on top of that, the animation is so bad. You had the stance of like a pitch shot and the swing of a pitch shot, but it just floats up in the air like a flop shot. So for some reason they didn't add a flop animation. And then the bunker shots, the blast shot, the way the stances are and swing in the bunkers just are not realistic bunker shots. The shots themselves behave realistic on the green. The blast shots, the flop shots do not. But the animation is really bad. That's something that I hope they address, the animations in the future. Another thing I really like about this game are the shot types. And as you play and improve your My Player, you unlock more shot types and also higher level shot types, such as you unlock the spinner shot early on in control or in short game. And once you unlock that spinner shot, you can continue to improve that shot. So when it's a bronze rating, it has a wider dispersion area where it can land during the shot. And as you get that to gold, that dispersion region gets tiny. So you can get much more accurate as you upgrade those. But what I like about the shot types is how in shot setup, you have to really think of what shot type you want to use. Do you want to hit a knockdown shot to keep it under the wind? Do you want to hit a stinger shot off the tee for a lot more rollout to keep it lower under the wind? You have to really think about your shot's feedback, a shot setup, because not all shot types have the same amount of spin on it. So in this game, it's not your traditional like PGA 2K23 or 2K where you put the spin on it with shot shaping. You can't do that on this. It's more about the shot type and your golfer's control that dictates how much spin you're going to be able to generate on the ball. And at first I didn't think I was going to like that coming from 2K. but I love it. I really do. I think it's awesome. And now, will I say that same thing after 200 hours in this game? I don't know. We'll see if my players become 100 overall and too overpowered. I see that kind of limiting my use of using my player, and I'll probably just stick to the playable pros that are 90 overall and such. But we'll see. I will update you all when we get there. So I think with regards to gameplay, if you're coming here from 2K23, I feel like this game, if you compare it straight to and you were thinking the same mechanics and extremely hard, that at first when you play this game, it's going to feel slow and you're not going to probably like it. But on the other hand, you could be like me, where you were not expecting to like it, and you go in there, and although it feels slow at first, you start to have a blast with the game. I can't stop playing it. And I think this game, some people are going to love. Some people are not going to love the mechanics. Some people are going to think it's too easy. But for those of you that think it's too easy, Whistling Straits would like to have a round with you on tournament conditions on simulation difficulty. Augusta National would like to have a round with you on simulation settings. If that's easy to you, you're probably one of the best gamers in the world. This game is far from easy. It may be easy off the tee. It is easier than 2K23 input wise. This game is not easy on simulation difficulty on these really tough golf courses. And try it out. Trust me. One thing that's important to point out, if you're on the fence about this game, you can play the EA Play trial. You can subscribe for $5 to EA Play on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. You can play a full 10 hours of the game with your progress carrying over. If you don't want EA Play after that, you could always cancel it. But it's a great way to know, and you'll know in those first 10 hours whether it's the game for you or not. You're probably going to know within the first few hours. Another thing that I didn't really touch on a lot earlier was 30 frames per second on the Xbox Series X, and you do notice it. It is not a huge notice because they've done a good job of masking it with the slower backswing. They've masked it with the camera angles when the ball's flying in the air. They don't show a lot of the distant structures so that you don't see a lot of the pop in and pop out of structures. Now, if you change to different cameras, broadcast and such, you get a little bit more view of those areas. Honestly, the camera angles need some work in general, but I think the way camera angles are the way they are cause that 30 frames per second to kind of mask it. They've slowed everything down, and you notice it when you first start playing it, but I don't even really notice it anymore after playing it so much. It's really not a bother for me. Do I think 60 frames per second would be better? Yes, because there is an input delay in the backswing and the downswing. You'll feel it when you play it. You may not feel it if you're not used to 60 FPS, but play this game at 30. Go straight into PGA 2K23 if you have it, or 2K21, and play at 60 frames. You will feel a massive difference. It'll feel like you moved from 50% speed to 1000% speed. It is insane to feel it yourself. It really is. It's eye-opening. But all in all, 30 FPS, as somebody who, before, you remember in my videos, I said it was a deal breaker. It's not a deal breaker at all. The game plays great and looks beautiful at 30 FPS. I never thought I'd say that. Wow. Now, with all that being said, there is still a lot of stuff that needs to be addressed in this game. There's bugs with the grids. The camera angles are very shaky at times and just don't always show the best view. There's no replays in this game, no instant replays. So if you hit a hole-in-one, unless you're recording at that time or you capture it after, you will never get to see that hole-in-one again. The presentation is awesome. I love it. But sometimes you just want to play rounds quickly, and the cutscenes and everything make that hard to do. So there's no HUD customization options. You cannot customize any of the thing you see on the screen. You can't turn off the button help at the bottom. You can't turn off the shot feedback or anything on the screen. And true sim players are not going to like that aspect. So putting animations need to be reworked, I think, all the way. Flop animations, blast shots, pick shots are too powerful from the sand. Flop shots are too powerful. The rough is very forgiving overall, and sand shots, I've never had a plug. I've hit full speed on a sand, and it seems like the sand plays a little bit too firm on most of the courses. I've never had a plug or a bad lie, But one of the things as well, we talk about the hack shot, which is a shot you can hit only from the rough. When you unlock the hack shot, you basically take out the rough lie completely. You always have an 100% lie basically when you're hitting the hack shot. So that basically takes the lie percentage out of the game, which takes a break from that realism. Now, you don't have to ever use that shot, right? You have the freedom to play the game as realistically as you want. But I do think there needs to be tuning and adjustments throughout, but we were at a great solid start here. I have not had a crash so far in the Xbox Series X playing this game. I have not had a disconnect. My internet disconnected once, but that was not the game. I've not had a disconnect. There is a bug that if you do the daily tournaments and you're going to have the completed tournament just keep popping up endlessly on the screen. You keep hitting A to collect. You have to actually close out of the game and Alt F4 or dashboard out and go back into the game for it to remove. It'll just keep popping up. Maybe if I sit there for 30 minutes, it'd finally go away. So the game is not perfect. It needs some work. But if it gets consistent updates and improvements and new courses and new content, new challenges, this game is going to keep getting better and better. But I'm pleasantly surprised. I did not expect to be making such a positive first early impressions. I thought it would be the opposite. I thought this would have been a very sad video to make. But it's been the complete opposite. I can't stop playing this game, and I'm going to dive into challenges and online tournaments right as we speak when I get done with this. I'm going to be streaming this game a lot. I'm just having so much fun. So there you have it. There's all the information. This is in no way telling you to go out and buy it, telling you not to buy it. But what it is saying is that we have two good golf games in our hand. We have EA Sports PGA Tour that's completely different mechanically and gameplay than 2K23. I love both games, but if we put them against each other, if you want the true input based, your input dictates the outcome of the shot, really hard, difficult golf, 2K23 is your game. If you want online head-to-head alt shots, ranked, playing with your friends, crossplay, that is 2K23. If you want online societies, communities, TGC tours, the competitive scene, 2K23. But if you want a really immersive RPG type career mode that has incredible presentation and graphics and courses, EA PGA Tour. If you want online daily tournaments that you actually get rewards from, EA PGA Tour might be the game for you. If you want that competitive ranked or playing with your friends in all the different modes, it's not there yet. But this game, EA PGA Tour, has so much content to play. It is a blast, and I am pleasantly surprised with what they've done with this game. Is it perfect? No. It needs work. Animation, grids, rollouts sometimes go a little bit too carried away. Sometimes you'll hit a ball in the rough and it'll just completely roll about 50 yards in the rough at St. Andrews or other courses. Drops, although they are better than 2K, they're way better than 2K, the drops, and you actually have the drop animation, but sometimes they're wrong with the point of entry. So if you cross a creek and then roll back into the creek, I've done this at Augusta a few times, but you'll actually get the drop in front. It's not a huge deal, but I could see that being a big deal for some, but honestly, the drops are really good. So I think both games are awesome. I think both games are going to hopefully keep pushing each other to be so much better, and I am really excited for the future of virtual golf. It's a beautiful time to be a golf gamer. So do you all remember when I said I was going to do this in 20 minutes? Well, that went well, didn't it? That went well. I couldn't stop talking. You all knew it. You all that know me and watched this video at the start, when I said that, you're like, Ryan, we're going to be here another hour, aren't we? Ryan's going to go on live stories and really tell you about everything, isn't he? And that's what I want to really show you, that this game has really surprised me, and this is coming from somebody who somebody who wasn't real low expectations for this game, huge 2K golf fan. For this game to win me over, I mean, it's a special day, and I mean, I'm impressed. Hey, all I'm gonna say is I'm impressed, and I am having a blast with this. But if you all got some enjoyment, drop a like. subscribe for more, and feel free, leave your comments below with what you think about the game. You know, let me know if you have any questions, and if I can't answer them, somebody in the community, a lot of times the community does a great job of answering questions as well. But this game is so much fun. I will be streaming this game live on Twitch. A link in the description to that, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I also have a second channel if you want more content from me, Gamer Ability 2. Link in the description to that. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. But I will see you all in the next one. Plenty of tutorial videos and gameplay videos to come. And we already have a career mode series started on the channel that you can tune into. I will see you next time. As always, have a fantastic day, everybody.